August 9th, 2025, 14:23 p.m. Eastern Pacific, 67 nautical miles west of Panama. U.S. Coast Guard cutter Stratton on routine patrol. Drug interdiction mission. Standard operations. Scanning surface, monitoring radio traffic, nothing unusual, until radar operator sees something odd. 8 small contacts, very small, barely visible, moving in formation, speed 8 knots, heading northeast, toward Panama Canal. Could be fishing boats, could be smugglers, could be nothing, but 8 vessels in perfect formation? That's suspicious, that's coordinated, that's worth investigating. Captain orders course change, intercept bearing, close and identify. This decision saves thousands of lives, prevents billions in drug money, destroys cartel's most ambitious operation ever attempted. Welcome to Navy Force, where Coast Guard patrols become naval battles and drug smugglers become military threats requiring overwhelming force. Stratton closes to 12 miles. Better radar picture now. 8 contacts confirmed, but profiles are weird. Low freeboard, minimal superstructure, almost flush with waterline. Recognition dawns. Narco-Submarines, semi-submersible vessels, cartel specialty, built in jungle shipyards, fiberglass hulls, diesel engines, crew of 4, cargo capacity 8 tons cocaine per vessel. 8 vessels means 64 tons total. Street value approximately $2.1 billion. That's not drug shipment, that's cartel navy, that's floating fortune, that's strategic asset, and they're heading toward Panama, toward one of world's most critical choke points. This isn't just smuggling, this is something bigger, something dangerous, something requiring immediate response. Captain requests backup immediately, transmits contact report, U.S. Southern Command receives alert, scrambles assets, P-8A Poseidon Maritime Patrol aircraft launches from Corpus Christi Naval Air Station. Flight time 2 hours 40 minutes, too long. Drug subs could scatter by then, could submerge partially, could evade, need faster response. Navy MH-60R Seahawk helicopters deploy from USS Pinckney destroyer. Position 89 miles south, flight time 27 minutes, better, much better. 2 helicopters airborne, armed with Mark 54 torpedoes, Hellfire missiles, M240 door guns, complete anti-submarine warfare package. Designed for hunting enemy submarines, works equally well on narco-subs, maybe better. Narco-subs can't shoot back, can't maneuver aggressively, can't dive deep. Sitting ducks for professional submarine hunters. Question for viewers, 8 narco-subs detected. What's first priority? A. Capture intact. B. Sink immediately. C. Track to destination. Comment your tactical choice. Navy Force believes drug interdiction is warfare by different name and requires warrior mindset. Stratton maintains visual contact, 8 miles now, close enough to see vessels with binoculars. Low profile confirmed, gray paint, minimal wake, professional construction. These aren't makeshift rafts. These are engineered vessels, sophisticated design, probably Colombian cartel, possibly Sinaloa, definitely major organization. Small operations don't build 8 submarines, don't coordinate fleet movement, don't risk $2.1 billion in single operation. This is apex predator behavior. This is cartel at peak capability. This is why Coast Guard exists, why Navy supports them, why America invests billions in interdiction. Because cartels aren't criminals. Cartels are enemies. Wage war on American society. Kill American citizens with poison. Destroy American families with addiction. This is warfare. This is combat. These are enemy combatants. And they're about to learn what overwhelming force means. At 14:51 p.m., narco-subs detect Stratton, change course, attempt evasion, increase speed to 11 knots, maximum speed for these vessels, still painfully slow. Stratton does 28 knots easily, can overtake in minutes. But Captain doesn't close immediately, maintains distance, waits for helicopters, waits for air support. Because something feels wrong. 8 submarines, coordinated movement heading toward Panama. What if this is diversion? What if real target isn't smuggling? What if real target is attack? Narco-subs could carry explosives, could be suicide vessels, could target Panama Canal locks, could cause catastrophic damage, shut down global shipping, cost trillions in economic disruption. That's terrorism, not smuggling. That's cartel evolution. From criminals to insurgents, from profit-focused to ideology-driven, some cartels cooperate with terrorists, share resources, share tactics, share goals. Destroying American interests, weakening American power. That's convergence of threats. That's nightmare scenario. That's why Captain waits, why he maintains distance, why he requests additional intelligence before engaging. Southern Command reviews satellite imagery, historical data, electronic intercepts, pattern analysis. Conclusion within 12 minutes. These are drug transports, not attack vessels. Intelligence indicates major cocaine shipment. Time to coincide with demand surge in U.S. market. Back to school season. University students returning, recreational use increases. Cartels know this, plan accordingly. 8 submarines represent entire quarters production for major trafficking organization. Losing this shipment would devastate cartel finances, would create power vacuum, would trigger internal warfare. That's strategic victory. That's why engagement authorized. That's why lethal force approved. Sink them all. Capture crews if possible, but priority is destroying cargo, preventing drugs from reaching American streets. Saving American lives, that's mission. That's purpose. That's why Coast Guard and Navy risk their lives in these waters. MH-60R helicopters arrive 15:18 p.m. 2 Romeo aircraft, call signs Reaper 1 and Reaper 2. Appropriate names, they bring death from above. Narco-subs have no defense against helicopters, no weapons, no armor, no speed, just helpless targets. Reaper 1 orbits at 1,200 feet. Thermal imaging confirms 8 vessels. Surface temperature signatures match diesel engines, cargo holds, show cold spots, probably refrigerated. Cocaine deteriorates in heat. Professional smugglers keep it cool, maintains quality, maximizes profit. Smart business practice. Useless against thermal sensors. Actually makes detection easier. Cold cargo stands out against warm ocean. Technology defeats tactics. Science defeats crime. American capability defeats cartel capability. That's force multiplier. That's asymmetric advantage. That's why America wins. Reaper 1 makes first attack run. Targets lead submarine, descends to 800 feet. Weapons officer arms Mark 54 torpedo. Lightweight 608 pounds. Speed 45 knots underwater. Range 11 miles. Originally designed for killing enemy submarines, adapted for surface targets. Effective against anything floating. Helicopter reaches drop point, 1.2 miles from target, releases torpedo splash. Weapon enters water, swims toward target. Active sonar guides it. Pinging, searching, finding. Lock achieved. Torpedo accelerates, closes distance, impact, warhead detonates, 96 pounds high explosive. Narco-sub hull breaches. Water floods in. Vessel sinks in 40 seconds. Crew scrambles out. 4 men in water, swimming, shouting. Stratton moves in for rescue. Coast Guard doesn't let people drown, even criminals, even enemies. That's American values. That's professional conduct. That's what separates us from them. On Navy Force, we understand combat has rules. Laws of war apply even to drug interdiction. Protecting enemy survivors isn't weakness. It's strength. It's civilization. Subscribe to Navy Force if you believe American forces fight with honor, even when enemies fight without it. Reaper 2 engages second submarine, different tactic. Hellfire missile. AGM-114, originally designed for tanks, works spectacularly on fiberglass boats. Laser-guided fire and forget. Helicopter locks target. Launches, missile tracks. Flies 200 feet above waves. Terminal guidance activates, dives towards submarine, impact explosion massive, 20-pound warhead detonates, shaped charge punches through hull, secondary explosion, fuel tanks ignite, fireball erupts, submarine disintegrates, debris everywhere. No survivors visible, water tube burning with diesel fuel. Coast Guard won't risk rescue in that inferno. 4 crew presumed dead. Acceptable casualties. They chose this profession. They accepted risks. They lost. That's warfare. That's consequence of attacking America with poison. Remaining 6 submarines scatter, break formation, each takes different heading. Evasion tactic. Force pursuers to split resources. Reduce effectiveness of attacks. Smart move, but insufficient. Because America has resources, has assets, has capability. P-8A Poseidon arrives on station. Boeing Aircraft Maritime Patrol, anti-submarine warfare specialist, carries 129 weapons internally. Mix of torpedoes, missiles, mines, plus external hardpoints for more. This is submarine killer. This is cartel's nightmare. Poseidon radar tracks all 6 fleeing submarines simultaneously. Computers calculate intercept courses. Target priorities assigned. Data transmitted to helicopters, to Stratton, to Southern Command. Complete operational picture. Everyone sees same information. Everyone coordinates. Perfect synchronization. That's network-centric warfare. That's information dominance. That's why America wins wars. Reaper 1 engages 3rd submarine, another Mark 54 torpedo. Different approach. Submarine heading south, trying to reach Colombian waters, thinks international law will protect it? Wrong. Hot pursuit doctrine allows Coast Guard to chase fleeing criminals across borders. Maritime law is clear. No sanctuary for smugglers. Helicopter pursues, closes to drop range, releases torpedo, weapon swims, tracks, impacts, explosion. Submarine sinks. 3 crew exit. Stratton recovers them. 7 survivors now in custody. 3 dead. 6 submarines destroyed. 5 remaining. Math favoring interdiction forces heavily. Reaper 2 targets 4th submarine. This one heading east toward Panama coast. Shallow waters ahead. Maybe planning to beach. Maybe planning to hide in mangroves. Maybe planning to transfer cargo to land vehicles. Doesn't matter. Won't reach coast. Helicopter launches Hellfire, missile flies, hits, explosion, submarine obliterated, no survivors, 8 crew dead now, beginning to accumulate casualties. Is this proportional? Is this excessive force? Navy force says no. These aren't innocent fishermen. These are cartel operatives, transporting poison, funding violence, enabling addiction, supporting organizations that murder thousands, that corrupt governments, that destabilize nations. They chose war against America. America responds with war. That's proportional. That's appropriate. That's justice. P-8A Poseidon engages directly. Time to demonstrate capability. Aircraft carries AGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. Massive overkill for Narco-Sub, but sends message. America's full military power available for drug interdiction. No target too small, no enemy too insignificant. Poseidon locks 5th submarine, launches Harpoon, 488-pound warhead, speed 537 mph, range 77 miles. Submarine never had chance, missile impacts, warhead detonates, submarine vaporizes. Nothing remains, complete destruction. 4 more crew dead. 12 total now. Death toll rising. Acceptable, necessary, deterrent. Cartels need to understand operating submarines in American patrol zones equals death sentence. That's message. That's warning. That's strategic communication through violence. 6th submarine tries desperate maneuver, partial submersion. Diesel-electric submarines can run underwater. Not deep, not long, but enough to hide from radar. Maybe evade detection. Maybe survive. Crew floods ballast tanks. Vessel sinks lower. Waterline reaches conning tower. Radar cross-section reduces 90%. Clever, brave, futile. Because thermal signature still visible. Because Poseidon has magnetic anomaly detector. Senses metal hull underwater. Because technology defeats desperation every time. P-8A tracks submerged vessel. Drops sonobuoy pattern. Acoustic sensors confirm position. Drops Mark 54 torpedo directly on target. Weapon swims, finds submarine, impacts, underwater explosion, submarine hull crushes, pressure wave kills crew instantly, 4 more dead, 16 total, 2 submarines remaining. At 16:34 p.m., tactical situation updated. 6 narco subs destroyed, 16 crew dead, 7 captured, 2 submarines still fleeing, 48 tons cocaine destroyed, street value $1.6 billion, major victory, massive blow to cartel finances, but mission incomplete. 2 submarines escaping, need to destroy all, need to send complete message, can't let any succeed, can't let any reach destination, must achieve total victory, overwhelming force, absolute defeat. That's deterrence, that's strategy, that's American way of warfare. 7th submarine heading northeast, fast as possible, 11 knots, desperation speed, engine overheating. Crew knows others destroyed, knows they're next, but trying anyway, hoping luck favors them, hoping Americans run out of weapons, hoping something saves them. Nothing will, Reaper. 1 has 1 Mark 54 remaining, perfect. Helicopter closes, drops torpedo, last weapon, must count weapon swims true, tracks perfectly. Impacts submarine stern, explosion destroys propulsion, submarine dead in water, sinking slowly, crew exits. 4 men abandon vessel, Stratton moves to recover, 4 more prisoners, 20 captured total. Death toll unchanged at 16. That's preferred outcome, capture better than kill. Intelligence value, prosecution value, deterrence value, showing cartels, their people captured, interrogated, imprisoned. That's psychological warfare. That's breaking enemy morale. 8th and final submarine, heading northwest, furthest from interdiction force, 23 miles away now, outside torpedo range, outside Hellfire range, but not outside harpoon range. P-8A Poseidon has 6 harpoons remaining. Massive overkill, but guarantees success. Aircraft locks target, launches 2 missiles, redundancy, insurance, first harpoon flies, covers distance in 2 minutes. Submarine crew sees contrail, knows death coming. Probably try to abandon ship, too late. Missile impacts, warhead detonates, submarine disintegrates. Second harpoon arrives 10 seconds later, hits debris field, explodes. Nothing remains but floating wreckage. 4 final crew dead, 20 dead total, 20 captured, 8 submarines destroyed, 64 tons cocaine destroyed, $2.1 billion operation annihilated, mission complete, total victory, overwhelming success. Stratton begins recovery operations. 20 prisoners aboard, 4 wounded, 16 healthy, all processed, photographed, fingerprinted, questioned, intelligence gathered, cartel affiliations identified, trafficking routes mapped, command structures documented. Each capture provides information. Information enables future operations. Future operations destroy more cartels. More cartels destroyed means fewer drugs. Fewer drugs means fewer deaths. That's strategic impact. That's why interdiction matters. That's why Navy Force covers these operations. What did we learn from this engagement? First, cartel submarines are a real threat. 8 vessels coordinated, 64 tons cargo. That's military-level logistics. That's organizational capability. That's enemy force requiring full military response. Second, technology defeats tactics. Narco subs built to evade detection. American sensors found them anyway. American weapons destroyed them easily. Investment in capability pays dividends. Third Coast Guard is military force, not police, not law enforcement. Military service conducting military operations deserves recognition, deserves resources, deserves support. Fourth, international cooperation essential. Panamanian waters, Colombian submarines, Mexican cartels. American response, regional problem requires regional solution. Fifth, deterrence requires visible force. 20 cartel members dead, 20 captured, 8 submarines destroyed, $2.1 billion lost. Other cartels see this, reconsider submarine operations, choose different methods. That's strategic victory. Final lesson. Drug war is real war. Cartels are enemies, not criminals, fight with military capability, require military response. Coast Guard and Navy provide that response, deserve recognition for combat operations, deserve classification as warriors, because that's what they are. Fighting war most Americans don't see, don't understand, don't appreciate. Navy force changes that, shows reality, explains stakes, honors service. Quiz answer from earlier, 8 narco subs detected what's priority? Answer is B, sink immediately. Capturing intact provides intelligence but risks escape. Tracking to destination allows more smuggling. Immediate destruction prevents drugs reaching streets, saves lives, costs cartel billions, deters future operations. That's correct tactical decision. That's what Coast Guard and Navy did. That's why mission succeeded. Here's truth mainstream media won't report. Cartel submarines are increasingly common, technology improving, detection harder, interdiction more difficult, but American capability improving faster, better sensors, better weapons, better training, better coordination, interdiction success rate rising, cartels losing more shipments, taking more losses, accepting more risk. That's winning. That's progress. That's American military and Coast Guard excellence. Peace belongs to those who defend borders. To cartels threatening American security, Coast Guard will find you, Navy will sink you, America will defeat you. That's not threat, that's promise. That's reality proven today. 8 submarines, 20 dead, 20 captured, $2.1 billion destroyed. That's deterrence. That's consequence. That's American power protecting American citizens from poison, trafficked by enemies pretending to be businessmen. Subscribe to Navy Force if you believe drug interdiction is national security. Like this video if you support Coast Guard warriors. Comment below. Was lethal force justified? Should all narco subs be sunk on sight? What would you do as Poseidon pilot? Your perspective matters. Your engagement builds awareness. Your comments reach thousands who need to understand these threats. Next cartel operation already planned. Next submarine fleet already building. Next attempt already scheduled. But Coast Guard watches, Navy supports, America responds, cartels will lose. Again, always. Because American technology, American training, American resolve, unmatched, undefeated, unstoppable, that's reality, that's history, that's future. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay with Navy Force.